Tonight, let us drift through the mists of forgotten time, across deserts and rivers, through marble temples and stone-carved shrines. For centuries, people have lifted their prayers in many directions, guarding sacred idols, defending holy places, and walking into battles not just for land, but for the spirit. As you rest, we will wander softly through more than 80 stories of ancient wars, moments when temples rose, idols were cherished, and faith carried armies into the night. Yet in this telling, there is no noise of swords, only the whisper of memory, the quiet of history, and the comfort of knowing that even from conflict, humanity sought meaning. If this journey helps you rest, subscribe for more bedtime storytelling. And if you feel called, share in the comments where in the world you are listening from tonight, so our circle of dreamers grows even wider. The night opens quietly. The air is cool, and the stars lean low over the ancient earth. In the hush of twilight, the land is wide and empty, with only soft winds moving across the hills. Somewhere in that stillness, a single stone stands upright, placed there by hands long forgotten. It waits in silence, a marker of mystery, a whisper of devotion left to greet the sky. You breathe with the rhythm of the earth itself, steady and calm. Every sound is softened by the night. A cricket hums in the distance, a gentle reminder that life continues, even when the world seems asleep. The stone holds its place unmoving, while shadows gather around its base. It is a temple without walls, an altar without roof, a quiet signpost between the human heart and the heavens above. Long ago, before kingdoms, before great empires, before written words, people wandered these lands. They followed rivers, listened to the stars, and watched the seasons turn. The world was vast to them, yet also alive with spirit. Every tree had a presence. Every mountain seemed like a watchful guardian. The wind itself was thought to carry whispers of something beyond. And so, when they paused in their wandering, they lifted stones from the earth. They placed them carefully on hilltops or in clearings, sometimes one alone, sometimes many together, arranged in circles or long paths. To the eyes of the future, they may look like simple rocks, but to those who placed them, they were sacred anchors. They were reminders that the unseen world touched the seen, and that every life was held in a great pattern. The fire would burn low at night. Around it, voices would quiet. Children would drift into sleep as the elders lifted their eyes toward the dark horizon. And there, in the glow of flames, the stone would rise, tall against the sky. It was a companion, a silent witness, a bridge between earth and spirit. Each mark upon its surface, each shadow across its face became a story, a prayer, a hope. You can almost feel it now, the cool surface of the rock under your palm. Solid, unchanging, yet filled with memory. It has stood through rains, through storms, through countless dawns. It does not move, yet it gathers meaning from all who pause beside it. Like the steady rhythm of your own breath, it endures quietly, asking for nothing, giving everything. Nomads came and went. They left offerings, branches, flowers, shells from distant rivers. They spoke to the stone as if it could hear, and perhaps they believed it did. When thunder rolled over the sky, they prayed for protection. When the hunt was successful, they gave thanks. When grief touched their tribe, they laid their sorrow at its base. The stone did not speak, yet it seemed to hold every word, every tear, every hope. As the generations passed, villages began to grow. The stones did not disappear. Instead, they became centers of gathering. Children played in their shade. Fires were lit before them. Songs were sung, slow and steady, echoing into the night air. The people began to believe that the stones were not only markers, but dwelling places for something greater. Perhaps a spirit, perhaps a memory of ancestors, perhaps the echo of a god. One can picture a mother, laying her hands against the stone as her child sleeps beside her. Her lips move with silent prayer, asking for protection through the dark hours. Above her, the stars shimmer like eyes of eternity. The stone does not move, but it seems to listen. It seems to comfort her heart. Not all stones were peaceful. In some places, two tribes found themselves drawn to the same hill, the same sacred ground. Both laid claim to it. Both believed the spirit within belonged to them. And so, quiet disputes sometimes turned to struggle. The stone that once stood as a sign of peace became a symbol of division. Yet even in conflict, it held meaning. It showed how deeply the human spirit longed for connection with the divine. Close your eyes and imagine the dawn rising over such a hill. The sky blushes with soft gold. Mist gathers in the valleys. And there, dark and strong against the lightning sky, the sacred stone remains. Men and women gather, their voices low, their faces calm. They bow, they touch, they honor what has stood longer than any of them. The world is wide and mysterious, yet here they feel a thread of belonging. As centuries passed, these simple stones grew into more. Altars of wood, circles of standing rocks, carved pillars with symbols of the sun and moon. Every form was a step forward, yet every form was still tied to the same desire. To mark a place where earth meets spirit, where silence meets meaning. The sacred stones became like quiet teachers. They did not command. They did not argue. They simply stood. And in their stillness, people learned. They learned to listen to the silence between winds. They learned to sense the sacredness in things unseen. They learned patience, as the stone taught them to endure. Now, imagine yourself walking among these ancient places. The air is fresh, filled with the scent of morning grass. Your steps are slow, gentle upon the soil. Around you, birds rise in soft arcs, calling faintly across the hills. Ahead, a line of stones leads toward the horizon. Each one is a memory, a prayer frozen in time. As you walk, you feel lighter, as if each step carries away the weight of the day. There is no need to rush, no need to speak. The stones are enough. Their silence is deeper than words. Their presence steadies the heart, as if telling you that all storms pass, all nights fade, and every dawn returns with its gentle light. People once gathered here at the changing of seasons. They watched the sun rise between certain stones. They watched the shadows stretch in long lines, marking the passage of time. For them, this was not only a calendar. It was a reminder that the world moved in rhythms, just as their own hearts did. Everything breathed in cycles. Everything returned, again and again. You can sense the reverence they felt. The hush of voices as the sun appeared. The soft sound of hands brushing against stone. The steady crackle of firewood, offering warmth against the cool dawn air. Every sound was part of a sacred harmony. Every gesture was part of a prayer. As you listen now, the stones still seem to hum with that old devotion. Even though the people are gone, even though the flames are ashes, the spirit lingers. The memory has not faded. It waits quietly, just as the stones wait quietly. In their presence, time feels less heavy. The burdens of the day seem to lift, replaced by the comfort of knowing that you, too, are part of something enduring. The sacred stones remind us that nothing is ever truly lost. Every life, every prayer, every whisper of faith leaves a trace. The earth remembers. The stars remember. And in their stillness, the stones remember as well. So let the breath flow slowly now, in and out, like the wind across the hills, like the tide against the shore. The stones are here, steady and calm, watching over the night. They ask for nothing. They give only presence. And in their presence, you are safe. You are held. Now the night deepens. The crickets sing again, soft and steady. The air cools as the stars return in greater numbers, bright against the dark sky. The stone still stands, as it always has, as it always will. It is patient. It is eternal. It whispers without words, all is well. All is safe. All is quiet. And so, as the sacred stones hold their place, let your body rest as well. Let your breath find the same stillness. Let your thoughts soften, like mist fading into morning light. The story of the stones is not finished, but for tonight it is enough. They stand, watching, remembering and blessing the earth with silence. Rest now as the stones keep watch. Rest as the stars guide their gentle light across the sky. Rest as the night folds itself around you like a soft cloak. The dawn of sacred stones has returned once more, reminding you that peace is always near. Now drift onward. The stones remain quiet and sure. The night carries you gently into dreams. And all is well. The night is gentle. The stars shimmer low, like scattered grains of silver over the quiet plains. Between the rivers, the land is still, yet it hums softly with the memory of voices long gone. The air carries a faint warmth, touched by the evening sun's last glow. And there in the distance, tall shapes rise, ziggurats reaching upward, as if climbing toward the very heavens. You float closer, your steps silent on the sand. The towers of brick and clay seem to lean toward each other in a quiet embrace. They are built with care, each layer laid slowly, each stone a prayer. Smoke curls from small fires around the base. The scent of clay and incense mingles in the air. It is a place of devotion, of longing, of soft and steady faith. In these temples, the people worship the sky above and the rivers below. The Euphrates and Tigris carried life in their waters, and in the reflections of these rivers, the gods seemed to dance. Priests moved along the steps of the ziggurats, their hands tracing the worn edges, their voices low in song. It was a rhythm that carried over the city, touching walls and homes, touching hearts with a quiet certainty. The people believed that every offering, every word spoken in reverence, reached the sky. You can imagine the calm of dawn, the sun brushing golden light across the topmost platforms. From there, the city wakes slowly. Birds glide between the towers, their wings cutting through the soft morning air. Below, traders move quietly along the streets, carrying their goods, speaking in whispers, attentive to the sacred presence overhead. The temples do not demand attention. They simply stand, tall and patient, watching over the flow of life. Long ago, city-states grew along these rivers. Each city had its own patron deity, its own ziggurat to climb when prayers were heavy or hopes needed lifting. At times, gentle rivalries stirred. Other city-states desired the blessings of a god or the presence of a particular idol. And sometimes, this desire led to struggles. Yet even in these moments, the ziggurats remained a place of quiet, where incense curled upward and prayers continued, soft as clouds. Walk slowly now, your eyes tracing the worn steps. Imagine a priestess ascending, her bare feet brushing smooth clay. She carries a small offering, perhaps a flower, perhaps a simple bowl of water from the river. Her movements are slow, careful, a meditation in motion. With each step, the world seems to breathe along with her. The stone beneath her feet absorbs the quiet, holding it like a gentle echo for centuries to come. Inside the temple walls, shadows play across carved reliefs. Figures of gods bend toward one another, hands outstretched in gestures of blessing. The sky god looks down upon the river god, whose arms cradle the flowing waters. Together they form a balance. The people, too, find balance here, their hearts aligned with the rhythms of the earth and sky. They leave offerings, tiny vessels of grain, small carvings, fragrant herbs, tokens of devotion and trust. Evenings were a sacred time. Candles flickered in soft circles around the altars, their light dancing on the faces of worshippers. The scent of frankincense rose, mingling with the cool air from the rivers. Some came to give thanks. Some came to ask for guidance. Some simply came to sit, to breathe, to feel the quiet hum of the world settling around them. The ziggurats were more than temples. They were bridges linking earth to sky, the living to the divine. People believed that climbing their steps brought one closer to understanding, closer to the whisper of the gods. Every hand on the brick, every word of prayer carried hope upward, and every hope returned as peace, flowing softly into the hearts of the faithful. Wars did sometimes sweep through these lands. City-states contended for rivers, for fertile soil, and for the favor of the gods themselves. And yet, even in these moments, the temples endured. They were not built of fleeting ambitions. They were built of devotion, patience, and reverence. And those who witnessed the temples, even during conflict, often found a place of calm within their walls, a reminder that peace could exist alongside struggle. Now, imagine the sun setting behind the ziggurats. Its light spills over clay walls, soft and warm. The rivers reflect gold and pink, carrying the glow toward distant lands. The city grows quiet. Voices drop to whispers. The last prayers of the day rise into the sky like smoke, steady and sure. The gods seem to watch, not with anger or judgment, but with a gentle presence, as if reassuring the people that they are seen and remembered. Night deepens and the stars return, mirrored in the waters below. The ziggurats cast long, peaceful shadows across the city. Fires burn low, and the scent of incense lingers like a memory. Those who are awake feel a calm settling into their hearts. Those who sleep are cradled in the quiet, their dreams guided by the silent wisdom of ancient stones and the gentle steps of priests and priestesses. Think of the rivers again. They flow endlessly, yet they never rush. They carry offerings, reflections, and prayers downstream, and yet they pause with the land, embracing every curve and rise along their way. The temples rise beside them, patient and enduring, shaping the rhythm of life for generations. In their presence, even the simplest thought can become a prayer. Even the softest breath can feel like devotion. The night carries a distant drum, faint and slow, like a heartbeat of the earth. It reminds you that life moves quietly, without hurry, without tension. And in that gentle rhythm, the ziggurats stand as guides, silent yet alive. Each brick, each offering, each whispered word contributes to a vast, unseen harmony. Even if centuries pass, the harmony continues, folded into the memory of the rivers, the wind, and the sky. You feel your own breath matching the calm rhythm. Inhale, exhale, like smoke from a fire, rising slowly into the night. Like a river flowing gently across the plains. Like the stars casting light over the clay towers. The temples of Mesopotamia are steady, eternal, and they carry the soft weight of centuries with grace. Let the heart soften as the ziggurats hold their presence over time. Let the mind rest as the rivers carry reflections of sun and moon across quiet waters. Let the body feel the calm as the earth beneath the city absorbs every whisper, every prayer, every step. All is at peace. All is held. All is remembered. Now drift onward. The towers rise still in the soft night. The rivers move silently beside them. The prayers of countless generations linger like gentle waves. And you float among them, calm, safe, and cradled. Rest now as the stars return to guide the heavens. Rest as the wind carries the scent of ancient fires. Rest as the temples keep their quiet watch, steady and eternal. The ziggurats of Mesopotamia hold the night for you, soft as a lullaby, endless as the sky. The night rests gently over the Nile. Moonlight spills across the water like silver silk, soft and calm. The river winds slowly, carrying whispers of time along its quiet banks. In the distance, temples rise, golden in memory, shining as if the sun itself has chosen to linger there. Pillars reach toward the sky, carved with stories of gods, of kings, and of people who long to touch something eternal. You float along the riverbank, toes brushing the cool sand. The air smells faintly of lotus and papyrus, soft and sweet. A gentle wind carries the distant murmur of offerings, flowers, incense, small vessels of water, gifts left in reverence. It is peaceful here. No voices call sharply. No hurry presses the heart. Only the quiet rhythm of water, of stone, of devotion. Long ago, the pharaohs walked these grounds, their sandals touching the warm earth with careful steps. They raised temples not merely of stone, but of spirit. Each hall was lined with painted reliefs, scenes of Ra crossing the sky, of Osiris rising in the afterlife, of Isis cradling life in her hands. The people believed that the gods were present in every carved line, every flickering flame. The temples became places where heaven and earth met softly, without question, without rush. The priests moved through the halls like shadows of reverence. Their hands traced the edges of pillars, their voices hummed quiet prayers. They knew the rhythm of the sun, the passage of the stars, the pulse of the river. Every chant was slow and deliberate, carrying blessings along with the smoke of incense. Even the walls seemed to breathe with the calm of devotion, absorbing every word, every step, every quiet offering. Walk slowly now, beneath the towering columns. Notice how the light filters through carved windows, falling in golden slants across the floor. The air hums softly, like a lullaby sung to the world. You can almost feel the warmth of a candle flame on your skin, steady and gentle. Each shadow holds a memory. Each reflection on polished stone carries a whisper of faith. By the river, boats drift silently, carrying offerings of bread, grain, and small treasures. The Nile receives them without haste. It holds them as water holds memory, flowing endlessly yet with perfect patience. The people trust the river, trust the stones, trust the gods to keep watch over all that they hold dear. It is a quiet harmony, a conversation without words, a connection felt in heartbeats rather than speech. Evenings are a sacred time. The sky deepens to indigo, and stars return like countless lanterns above the temples. Soft drums beat in the distance, gentle and rhythmic, marking the passage of night. Priests light small fires, their flames flickering in the cool air, casting dancing shadows across the walls. Offerings rise slowly, like smoke into the heaven, steady and sure. The people feel the presence of something larger than themselves, not demanding, but quietly holding all in balance. At times, the temples were protected fiercely. Rival dynasties, drawn to the sacred flow of offerings, sought to claim the blessings for themselves. Yet even in those moments, the stone walls endured, the pillars remained upright, and the river continued its gentle journey. The gods seemed to watch with calm patience, reminding the people that faith flows through time, unbroken, unshaken. Picture a mother sitting at the edge of the temple, her child asleep in her lap. She places her hands on the cool stone, feeling its steady presence. Her whispers rise into the night, prayers of hope, of protection, of gratitude. Above her, the stars mirror her devotion. The temple seems to lean softly toward her, listening, holding the quiet weight of her heart. Each shrine carries its own light. Ra's temple shines like the sun at dawn, gold spilling across every surface. Isis watches over the living, her image gentle and embracing. Osiris stands in quiet strength, reminding the people of life beyond what the eye can see. The temples are not merely buildings. They are guardians of memory, of devotion, of the endless cycle of night and day, life and eternity. The river reflects this calm. Its waters ripple softly, touching the banks and carrying scents, colors, and memories along their gentle flow. Fishermen move quietly, their nets dipping into the water with care. Even the wind seems mindful, drifting across reeds and stone, touching the temples without hurry. It is a place where every element, water, air, stone, flame, works together in a silent, harmonious song. At the heart of the temple, the statues of God stand patient and serene. They do not command. They do not speak harshly. They hold presence, steady as the night, as the river, as the slow, quiet stars. People leave gifts, small tokens of their gratitude, and in return they receive comfort, a sense of belonging, a quiet reassurance that the world is larger than fear, larger than worry, larger than haste. The priests keep the rhythm, slow and steady. They move like water, flowing from altar to hall, from fire to pillar. Every motion is prayer. Every step is meditation. And as they move, the temple itself seems alive, not in noise, not in clamor, but in stillness that holds the weight of centuries. Soft drums in the distance echo the heartbeat of the city. The scent of incense lingers, curling into the night like smoke rising from a gentle fire. You can almost see the light bending through the carved openings, golden and soft, caressing every face, every stone, every offering. The temples do not hurry. They do not demand. They simply hold, steady and eternal. Now imagine the sun dipping low over the western horizon. The sky is painted with orange, pink, and violet, reflected in the waters of the Nile. Boats drift lazily, carrying the last gifts of the day. The temples glow in the evening light, silent and patient. The river carries reflections of stone and flame, weaving them gently into the vast memory of the land. You feel your own breath aligning with this rhythm, in and out, like the slow current of the river, like the flicker of a candle flame, like the steady pulse of the earth beneath your feet. The temples of Egypt cradle the world in their presence, offering calm and quiet, reminding all who come that peace can be found in stillness, in devotion, in the gentle flow of life. The night grows deeper. Stars multiply across the sky, soft and shimmering. The temples hold the light of memory, the weight of prayers, the quiet hope of generations. Even the wind seems to pause, letting the world rest in their shadow. And you float among them, held in the soft embrace of history, of faith, of enduring presence. Now rest. The Nile carries your dreams along its silver path. The gods watch silently, not with demand but with gentle care. The temples breathe with the quiet of eternity. And in this moment the world feels soft, slow, and safe. Let the stars guide you. Let the river soothe you. Let the eternal shrines of Egypt cradle your heart tonight. Let us drift onward. The night is deep and quiet. The fire burns low. The stars shine gently. And all is calm. The evening settles softly over the hills and valleys of ancient Canaan. The sun has dipped low, painting the sky in gentle hues of rose and gold. A quiet breeze moves through olive trees, carrying the faint scent of earth and blossoms. Tents of woven cloth and soft leather dot the landscape, their shapes calm against the fading light. In this quiet, you can almost hear the whisper of history, slow and steady, like the rhythm of a patient heart. You float among the tents, your feet brushing the warm dust. The people move gently, their steps measured, their voices low. They pause to pray, to give thanks, to touch the earth that sustains them. A small flame dances in the center of a gathering, its glow soft as a lullaby. The world feels still, sacred, a place where every breath carries meaning. Long ago, this people wandered, guided by faith. They followed stars across the desert, feeling the gentle pull of a promise that stretched beyond sight. The sky itself seemed to watch over them, holding their hopes and fears in quiet light. At night, the air was cool and the campfires flickered, reflecting on faces that were weary yet steady. Every step through the sands was a prayer. Every pause was a meditation. Every gesture, a reminder that the divine moved with them, unseen, gentle, and protective. Tents became villages. Villages grew into cities. And in the heart of their gathering rose the temple in Jerusalem, a place of stillness and light. It shone not only with stone and gold, but with devotion that spanned generations. Priests moved through its halls with measured steps, carrying vessels of incense and offerings. Every movement was soft, deliberate, a rhythm that echoed through the marble and sandstone. The people believed the temple was more than a building. It was the meeting place of heaven and earth. It was a sanctuary where their hearts could touch the divine, where hope and gratitude mingled with the cool air and quiet stones. The walls absorbed prayers and gave back peace, steady and sure. Even when storms of empire swept through the lands, the temple remained a beacon of calm, its presence like a gentle hand on a weary shoulder. Sometimes the people faced challenges. Neighboring kingdoms, empires vast and distant, sought to control the lands and the holy spaces within them. And yet, those who cared for the temple endured. They moved quietly, with patience and resolve, protecting sacred places with care rather than haste. Their devotion was a shield, their faith a steady light that could not be extinguished by armies or conquest. You drift through the courtyards now, imagining soft footsteps along the cool stone. The sun filters through carved arches, falling in gentle slants across the floor. The air smells faintly of myrrh and olive oil, mixing with the warmth of the earth. Children rest in quiet corners, their small hands tracing shapes in the dust. The elders watch from the shade, calm and steady, their eyes reflecting the enduring memory of generations. The temple itself seems alive, not in sound but in presence. Every pillar, every carved relief, every etched symbol carries the weight of devotion. The people who walk here are connected not only to one another, but to those who have come before and to those who will follow. It is a living memory, held in stone, flame, and quiet breath. Evenings are filled with soft rituals. Small fires flicker along the outer courtyards. Prayers rise slowly into the cool night air, mingling with the stars above. The sound of gentle voices, low and harmonious, carries across the city. The wind bends softly around the temple, bringing the scent of the river, of sand, of blossoms from distant hills. All is calm, all is held, all is quiet. Wars sometimes came, and yet the heart of faith endured. The people did not fight recklessly. They moved with caution, with care. The temple was not just a prize. It was a center of life, of hope, of steady devotion. Even in times of turmoil, those who watched over it found calm in the rhythm of prayer, in the order of sacred space, in the quiet presence of the divine. Imagine a priest kneeling in the inner sanctuary, hands resting on the cool marble. A small lamp flickers beside him, casting shadows that stretch and sway across the carved walls. He whispers a prayer, slow and deliberate, as if each word is a breath. Outside, the stars watch silently, their light mirrored in the river that winds past the city. It is a moment of perfect stillness, held in time, steady and eternal. The temple reminds all who enter of patience, endurance, and reverence. It teaches through silence rather than sound, through presence rather than command. Even the smallest offering, a pinch of incense, a soft murmur, a quiet thought, is received and held with care. Every gesture matters, every breath counts, every heart is heard. As night deepens, the lamps glow softly across the courtyards. The wind stirs the olive trees, carrying a gentle rustle that soothes the mind. Rivers shimmer in the moonlight, reflecting the quiet of the city, reflecting the devotion of countless generations. The people rest, The temple rests, and you floating among them, feel the same calm settling deep into your bones. The stars multiply above, tiny points of light in the vast dark sky. Their glow touches the temple's stones, the river's surface, the faces of those who remain awake. It is a quiet communion, a reminder that the world holds patterns of devotion, of presence, of peace that span centuries. Even when empires rise and fall, even when winds sweep across the land, the calm of faith endures. You follow the slow, steady rhythm of the night. Inhale, exhale, like the flow of the river, like the flicker of lamps, like the steady pulse of hearts held in devotion. The temple, the people, the land, all breathe in the same gentle harmony. Now let the night carry you softly. Let your mind drift as the river drifts, calm and certain. Let the walls of the temple hold your heart as they have held the hearts of countless generations. All is safe. All is steady. All is remembered. Rest now. The stars above keep watch. The olive trees whisper lullabies. The river carries dreams along its endless path. And the eternal sanctuary of Jerusalem cradles the world in soft, quiet presence. Let us drift onward. The night is deep, the moon rises slow. All is kind, all is gentle, all is held. Now rest as the stars return, and the sacred heart of the temple watches over you tonight. The night stretches softly over the hills and valleys of ancient Greece. Moonlight drapes itself across marble temples, turning cold stone into silver warmth. Olive trees sway gently in the evening wind, their leaves whispering secrets of old. Between the columns, shadows play quietly, folding over carved reliefs of gods and heroes. All is calm, yet the air hums faintly with stories that have lingered for centuries. You float along quiet streets of stone, footsteps softened by dust and time. The city sleeps slowly, leaning into the gentle rhythm of night. Temples rise like mountains of devotion, their statues poised in quiet grace. Athena stands in perfect balance, shield and spear at rest. Apollo leans over his lyre, as though preparing a melody for the stars. Zeus towers above all, calm and watchful, a silent guardian of sky and earth. The people believed that the statues were more than stone. They were vessels of divine presence, carrying a soft light that touched every heart. When offerings were placed at their feet, incense rising like mist, prayers traveled into the quiet heavens. The gods were gentle watchers here, present yet serene, filling the temples with calm rather than command. Even when rival city-states contested power, the statues remained a reminder of something larger than ambition, larger than conflict. Imagine a soft morning sun spilling over the Acropolis. Light dances on marble steps, falling in golden patterns that shift with the passing hours. Priests move slowly among the halls, their hands tracing the carved images, their voices low and melodic. Each chant, each whisper, carries blessing into the world. Even the stones seem to breathe along with the rhythm, holding memory in quiet strength. At times, rival states sought guardianship of these sacred spaces. They moved with care, not haste, understanding that the divine presence within the statues was delicate. Wars were fought, yes, but even then, respect for the sacred endured. For those who loved the gods, the temples were not mere prizes. They were anchors for the spirit, safe harbors in a world of change. You drift into the grand temple of Athena now. Columns stretch upward, carved with leaves of olive and victory. The air carries a faint scent of honey and olive oil. Soft sunlight filters through open windows, brushing the floor with warmth. A single priestess kneels, her hands folded, her head bowed in meditation. The statue of Athena gazes gently, as if acknowledging the quiet devotion of the human heart. Around the city, musicians practice soft melodies, their notes weaving with the distant hum of the sea. The lyres, flutes, and gentle drums mix with the wind, carrying music to the temples. Even in times of conflict, music rises as a prayer, a bridge between the mortal and divine. It is soft, calm, and enduring, a thread that connects the present with the eternal. The temples of Apollo are bathed in the golden light of afternoon. His lyre rests in delicate hands, strings untouched yet vibrating with the promise of melody. Priests and visitors alike feel the warmth of inspiration here, a gentle nudge toward calm and reflection. Even rival states, when they come seeking guidance or blessing, are welcomed into the quietude, if only for a brief moment. All who enter are touched by the stillness, the soft assurance that the divine watches without harshness. Zeus, high above on his throne, watches over all with patience. Clouds drift slowly across the sky, silver against deep blue. Thunder is distant and rare, a soft reminder of power held in balance. People offer small gifts at the foot of his statue, fruit, flowers, or simple words of gratitude. The air absorbs them, carrying the devotion gently upward, where it rests like soft light in the heavens. Evenings in the marble cities are quiet and luminous. Lanterns glow softly along temple steps, reflecting in polished stone floors. The wind carries the faintest sound of waves from the coast. Priests and worshippers move in slow rhythm, leaving the temples as serene as when they enter. Every gesture, every whispered word, becomes part of a continuous pattern of devotion that stretches through time. Sometimes, statues were moved or protected during conflicts, but their calm remained intact. Stone could not run, could not hurry. It could only hold presence. Even as armies marched or rival states called for guardianship, the spirit of the temple endured. The people learned patience, endurance, and quiet reverence, soft lessons carried in the stillness of marble and the light of stars. Picture a young child resting by the steps of a temple. The soft hum of distant prayers drifts into their dreams. They trace the carvings with tiny fingers, learning without words the gentle power of devotion. The statues seem to lean softly toward them, not in demand, but in quiet encouragement. The night carries their breath and the scent of olive blossoms, weaving together memory and presence. Each temple is a sanctuary, a place where heaven and earth meet. Marble columns, polished floors, soft incense, and flickering lamps create a rhythm that soothes the soul. Even the air feels attentive, holding prayers and offering them back as calm and stillness. The gods are present, yes, but not with demand, only with quiet, enduring care. At dusk, the stars return above the Acropolis. Lanterns flicker along temple paths, their glow soft as a heartbeat. The sea reflects the fatting sun, moving gently with the rhythm of tides and time. People rest, the priests pause, and the statues hold their silent vigil. Even the city itself seems to breathe, slow and steady, keeping all who dwell within in gentle safety. Let your breath align with the quiet of the temples. Inhale, exhale, like the gentle sway of olive branches, like the soft echo of a lyre string, like the steady pulse of marble holding memory across centuries. The gods, the statues, the people, the city, all flow together in calm harmony. Now rest. Let your heart be held as the temples hold theirs. Let the stars guide your dreams. Let the soft wind and distant waves lull you into stillness. All is safe. All is steady. All is remembered. Let us drift onward. The moon rises slow. The night deepens. The marble cities sleep, and the gods watch gently, quietly, and without demand. Now rest as the stars return, and the sacred presence of Greece cradles your spirit tonight. The twilight spreads slowly across the plains of the Ganges. Soft clouds drift over the horizon, tinged with gold and lavender. Rivers wind quietly, reflecting the sky in gentle ripples. The air is scented with jasmine, sandalwood, and the faint smoke of distant fires. All around, the land breathes in calm, carrying whispers of devotion across forests and villages. You float along the riverbank, toes brushing the soft earth. Temples rise like gentle mountains, carved from stone and adorned with intricate sculptures. Figures of gods and goddesses peer from walls and pillars, their faces serene, their eyes carrying calm wisdom. Agni dances within sacred flames, his light flickering softly, illuminating offerings of rice, flowers, and honey. Vishnu rests in carved panels, tranquil and eternal, his presence like the steady flow of the river itself. Long ago, kingdoms grew along these sacred waters. They built temples not only as monuments of devotion, but as homes for the divine. Each hall, each shrine was crafted with care, the hands of artisans moving slowly, intentionally, as though each stone carried the heart of the world. Even when rival rulers claimed lands, the temples remained centers of peace, places where humans touched the eternal without fear. The priests moved softly through the halls, their sandals whispering on polished stone. They lift vessels of water, pour milk into fire, wave incense in slow, steady arcs. The flames respond as if breathing, curling upward toward the heavens, carrying prayers as gentle smoke. Every gesture is measured, every breath deliberate, every heartbeat a quiet prayer that settles into the walls and stones, holding memory in gentle care. Walk now through the courtyard of a great temple. Stone lions rest at the gates, guardians of peace rather than threat. The carvings of gods tell stories of creation, of harmony, of dharma flowing through life. Children play softly near the river, their laughter delicate as the wind through tall grasses. Elders sit in quiet meditation beneath carved archways, their eyes reflecting the gentle light of oil lamps. All is calm, all is held. Even in times of conflict, when kingdoms sought to claim power, devotion endured. The sacred fires burned steadily. Temples were rebuilt, repaired, and honored with offerings that spoke of care rather than conquest. Kings and queens came not only to rule, but to bow, to touch the flame, to feel the slow pulse of dharma flowing through the land. The gods were patient, their presence steady, never rushed, never demanding. You drift along a marble pathway now, feeling the warmth of the stone beneath your feet. The sun has set behind distant hills, leaving the sky deep indigo, sprinkled with first stars. Lanterns glow softly along temple steps, their light mirrored in the flowing river. Soft bells chime, distant and gentle, mingling with the faint rustle of palm leaves. The night is a lullaby, slow and deliberate, carrying you into the quiet heart of devotion. Agni's flames reflect the warmth of life itself. They rise, curl, and flicker, touching every face with calm light. People leave small offerings bow and stand in quiet reverence. The flames carry gratitude, hopes, and the softest whispers of love toward the infinite sky. Vishnu's images smile in their stillness, eyes calm, hands extended in quiet blessing. Even in the presence of conflict or fear, these symbols hold peace, reminding all who enter of the gentle rhythm of life. Soft chants float through the temple corridors, low and resonant. Priests intone the ancient verses, their voices merging with the river's murmur and the wind through trees. It is not a sound of demand, but of calm encouragement, a lullaby that stretches across time. Even visitors who have traveled far feel their hearts slow, their thoughts quiet, as the energy of devotion moves through them like a gentle tide. Imagine a mother kneeling beside a small altar, her hands resting on warm stone. Her child's head leans against her shoulder, breathing slow and even. She offers flowers into the flame, her heart moving with gratitude and hope. The flame responds, bending softly as if bowing, carrying her quiet devotion upward. Above, stars return to the sky, and the river mirrors their calm light, gentle and unbroken. Every temple carries its own story. Some rise tall and grand, adorned with elaborate carvings and painted frescoes. Others are humble, tucked into the curve of a river or beneath the shade of a banyan tree. All share the same essence, a sacred place where hearts slow, minds rest, and the divine presence flows freely. Even when kingdoms changed hands, even when rulers rose and fell, the Dharma endured, held quietly in the walls, the flames, and the hearts of those who honored it. The night deepens, soft and luminous. Lanterns flicker across courtyards. The river hums along its steady path. Fires burn gently in inner sanctums, their smoke curling into the sky, carrying prayers like soft feathers. The wind bends gently through the leaves, echoing the rhythm of incense and chant. All is calm, all is held, all is remembered. Now let your breath match the gentle pace of the temple night. In and out, like the slow dance of flames, like the soft ripple of water, like the steady pulse of the earth beneath stone and tree. The gods, the temples, the river, the people, all flow together in quiet harmony. Rest now. Let your heart settle as the sacred fires settle into stone. Let your mind drift with the river's quiet flow. Let the stars above, the moon's gentle light, and the eternal Dharma cradle you in safety. All is serene. All is steady. All is remembered. Let us drift onward. The night is deep. The lamps burn low. The river hums softly. And the sacred temples of India hold the world in calm, quiet presence tonight. The desert stretches softly under a twilight sky, warm sands fading into gentle shadows. Mountains rise in quiet, steady silhouettes, holding the horizon like patient guardians. A soft wind brushes across the plains, carrying the scent of myrrh, cedar, and dry earth. Above, stars begin to appear, small points of silver light that shimmer like whispered promises. All is still, yet the air hums faintly with the memory of devotion, flowing like a gentle river through time. You drift along a quiet path lined with sandstone and date palms. In the distance, the glow of fire temples appears, golden and warm against the deepening night. The flames of Ahura Mazda burn softly, eternal and serene, reaching toward the heavens with calm persistence. Priests move like shadows, hands steady, chanting low and even, tending the sacred fire with care. Their footsteps, their gestures, their breath, all flow together in slow harmony, echoing the rhythm of the desert itself. Long ago, these fires were kindled, small sparks given life by faith and devotion. They were not merely flames, they were the essence of presence, a quiet touch of the divine. Generations carried them forward, hands careful, hearts steady, passing the fire along the same sacred path that had begun centuries before. Even when invaders swept across the land, the faithful held their vigil, the flames never faltering. Picture a temple at sunrise, its walls glowing softly in amber light. The wind bends gently through carved pillars, brushing incense upward in soft curls. The priests stand in calm procession, offering words and water, blessing the air with devotion. The flames respond, bending with grace, as if breathing along with every heartbeat. Even those who come from distant lands feel the gentle steadiness of the fire, its soft assurance filling their spirits. Sometimes armies sought to claim the lands, to extinguish the flames, to take the temples as trophies. Yet even in the quiet presence of danger, the sacred fire endured. It was nurtured not by strength alone, but by patience, care, and the unbroken rhythm of devotion. Hands lifted, hearts bowed, the faithful moved like the wind, unseen and steady, carrying light through shadow. The temple did not demand attention, it offered calm. The flame did not fight, it simply continued to burn. You drift into the inner sanctum now, where the fire burns in a polished bronze hearth. Its glow is soft, golden, reflecting on walls carved with symbols older than memory. Every detail, every curve, every line speaks of patience, of reverence, of enduring care. A single priest tends the flame, hands moving slowly, incense curling upward, smoke rising like gentle breath. Outside, the desert stretches endlessly, yet within these walls, time feels like water, slow and steady, carrying all who enter toward quiet peace. The faithful leave offerings, small gestures of gratitude, grains of rice, drops of oil, petals of flowers, soft whispers of prayer. The fire receives all without haste or judgment. It is a mirror of the eternal, holding devotion gently, reflecting the calm presence of Ahura Mazda back to every heart. Even when conflicts raged, even when the earth trembled with the march of armies, the sacred light remained, unwavering and serene. At dusk, the lamps along temple steps glow softly, mirroring the golden light of the flame within. The wind rustles palm leaves, carrying a faint melody of distant chanting. All is hushed, not by fear but by reverence. The city, the desert, the mountains, the riverbeds, all breathe in quiet unity, as if holding their own vigil alongside the priests. Even the stars above seem to bend slightly toward the temple, their silver points steady against the darkening sky. Imagine a young apprentice kneeling near the hearth, eyes wide, hands folded, learning the rhythm of devotion. The fire reflects in their gaze, soft and gentle, teaching patience and care without words. A single ember rises, twisting in the cool air, carrying the memory of centuries along with it. Every flicker is a story, every breath a quiet prayer, every heartbeat a connection to the divine that stretches across time. The temple is alive, not in sound or movement, but in presence. Stone and flame, incense and breath, shadow and starlight, they all flow together in slow harmony. Even when kingdoms changed, even when the winds of war swept across the plains, this presence remained untouched. Hands and hearts, steady and devoted, held the flame. And the flame held them in return, soft, enduring, calm. As night deepens, the glow of fire blends with the silver of the moon. Lanterns along paths shimmer gently, reflecting on polished stone and soft sand. The desert hums in quiet rhythms, the distant river whispers. The wind bends through mountains and palms. Every element moves in slow cadence with the sacred flame. All is held, all is safe, all is remembered. Now, let your breath align with the rhythm of the temple. In and out, like the slow flicker of fire, like the gentle ripple of the river, like the quiet pulse of the desert under starlight. The flames, the priests, the faithful, the land, all flow together in calm harmony. Rest now. Let the sacred light of Persia cradle your spirit. Let the eternal fire guide your dreams. Let the moon, the stars, and the desert winds carry you into stillness. All is serene. All is steady. All is remembered. Let us drift onward. The night deepens. The lamps burn low. The flames rise gentle and calm. And the eternal fires of Persia watch over you tonight, holding the world in soft, quiet presence. The evening sky stretches wide over Rome, soft shades of rose and gold fading into the deepening indigo of night. Columns rise along streets of stone, standing tall and quiet, their shadows folding gently into the warm air. The wind carries the faint scent of olive oil, cedar, and the soft smoke of burning incense. Even the distant hum of the Tiber seems calm tonight, moving slowly over smooth stones, reflecting the last light of the sun. All is still, yet the city holds stories whispered in its walls, waiting to be felt more than heard. You drift along wide avenues, past temples and arches that shine faintly in the twilight. Each structure is adorned with statues of gods, their faces serene, their eyes gentle in the fading light. Jupiter stands tall and patient, his presence like the steady sky itself. Mars rests quietly, not in rage but in readiness, a guardian of what is sacred. Venus smiles softly, offering calm beauty, and Minerva watches from quiet corners, her wisdom folded into the stone. In these temples, incense curls slowly, twisting in invisible ribbons toward the heavens. Priests and priestesses move gently through the halls, their feet whispering over polished stone. They lift offerings of grain, wine, and flowers, placing them carefully before each idol. The air hums with devotion, a rhythm older than the city, soft and constant, holding the space in quiet care. Even when Rome expanded its reach, bringing wars and new lands under its empire, the temples remained centers of calm. Conquered provinces sometimes brought new idols, carried carefully through streets by quiet hands, placed in sanctuaries with reverence. Though the world beyond the city could be loud and restless, inside these sacred spaces, all moved with gentle rhythm. Stone, flame, and incense worked together to create stillness, a sanctuary of patience, where the divine presence could be touched softly. Walk now along the steps of a great temple. The sun has fully set, leaving only the glow of oil lamps along the edges of the steps. The air is cool and still, carrying the faint rustle of leaves in gardens tucked between columns. The statues seem alive in the gentle lamplight, holding their watch silently, their presence a reminder of calm through centuries. Even travelers who have come from distant lands pause, drawn into the soft rhythm of devotion, their hearts slowing with each step. In one inner hall, a single flame burns in a bronze brazier. Its glow reflects on the faces of statues, softening their features, giving warmth to the still stone. Priests move slowly around the flame, offering prayers in low tones, each word measured and even. The flame responds like a living breath, curling upward in quiet grace, carrying devotion to the heavens. All who enter feel the calm, like water pooling in still hollows, filling spaces that have long-awaited quiet attention. Sometimes, armies marched past the temples, bringing noise and movement to the city's edges. Yet inside, the sacred spaces remained unbroken. The flame burned steadily. The statues held their gentle vigil. Even when power shifted, even when emperors rose and fell, the devotion endured. The air itself seemed to honor patience, bending to the rhythm of quiet prayer, carrying it into every corner of the temple. Picture a child kneeling near a small altar. Their hands rest softly on stone, eyes wide as they watch the flickering flame. The scent of incense drifts over them like a blanket. Even without words, the child feels the stillness, the calm, the presence of something larger than themselves. Every flicker, every breath of air, every gentle shadow carries meaning beyond measure, teaching patience and care in quiet ways. The temples of Rome vary in shape and size. Some rise tall, decorated with intricate carvings and marble statues, reaching toward the sky. Others are small, tucked in quiet gardens, their courtyards filled with the soft murmur of wind through leaves. All share the same essence, a space where hearts slow, where devotion flows gently, and where the divine presence is always near. Even when the empire expanded, even when soldiers marched across provinces, the sacred rhythm endured. As night deepens, the lamps along the steps glow brighter, mirrored faintly in polished stone floors. The Tiber moves quietly, reflecting moonlight in soft silver ripples. Wind bends gently through olive trees, whispering over carved stone, echoing the rhythm of chanting priests. Every element of the city seems to breathe in harmony with the flame, the statues, and the people. All is calm, all is held, all is remembered. Let your breath flow in time with the quiet of the temple night. In and out, like the soft flicker of the flame, like the gentle flow of the river, like the steady pulse of marble beneath your hands. The gods, the temples, the citizens, the city, all move together in soft, enduring rhythm. Rest now. Let your heart settle as the statues settle, steady and patient. Let your mind drift with the gentle flow of the Tiber and the soft curling of incense smoke. Let the stars above, the moon's silver light, and the eternal presence of Rome cradle your spirit tonight. All is serene. All is steady. All is remembered. Let us drift onward. The night deepens. The lamps burn low. The flame rises gentle and calm. And the temples of Rome hold the world in soft, quiet presence tonight. The desert stretches endlessly, soft dunes rising and falling like gentle waves under a twilight sky. The sun has dipped low, leaving a golden haze that folds slowly into deep purple shadows. A soft wind drifts across the sand, carrying the warmth of the day and the cool promise of night. Stars begin to appear, small and steady, scattered like glowing seeds across a dark canvas. All is still, yet the desert breathes with quiet history, every grain of sand holding whispers of devotion. You float along a narrow path between dunes, where the footprints of travelers have long faded. Small shrines of stone and carved wood stand quietly in the sand, offering space for reflection and remembrance. Each idol is unique, a silent guardian of memory, a gentle witness to the prayers and hopes of those who passed before. The wind caresses the smooth surfaces, lifting dust like soft incense, carrying it toward the heavens. Even in silence, the desert holds devotion, steady and patient, waiting for hearts to notice. Long ago, tribes carried these gods from one oasis to another, keeping them close and safe. The idols were more than objects. They were companions, teachers, and protectors. Each figure was carved with care, painted with gentle colors, and placed with reverence under the wide sky. They rested beside wells and palms, standing as quiet witnesses to births, journeys, and quiet conversations with the divine. Sometimes, winds of change swept across the sands. New ideas, new voices, new calls for a singular god rose softly among the dunes. Some saw these winds as challenge, others as a quiet promise. The idols, still and serene, watched silently. Even as conflicts arose, the desert itself seemed to hold its breath, soft and unmoving, a calm presence among restless hearts. Walk now among a circle of stone idols, each one bathed in the cool silver of moonlight. The air is calm, carrying faint echoes of drums from distant tents, a rhythm older than memory. A traveler stops, kneeling gently before a small wooden figure, hands resting lightly on its base. The figure does not move, yet the connection is felt, quiet, unhurried, and deep. Every grain of sand beneath their knees seems to hum softly, as if acknowledging devotion without words. Even when tribes disputed ownership or new faiths arose, the idols remained in their places, patient and still. They did not speak in anger or plead for attention. They simply continued to exist, reflecting the care, devotion, and history of those who tended them. Sometimes hands would lift offerings, dates, water, or small gestures of thanks. The desert accepted all, carrying these quiet acts like whispers into the vast, open sky. Imagine a night under the stars, with tents dotted across the dunes. A small group gathers around a fire, its glow soft and golden against the dark sand. One elder speaks gently, telling stories of the idols and the journeys they have witnessed. The younger listeners nod quietly, eyes reflecting the flames, absorbing history like water into soil. Outside, the wind shifts, lifting sand in gentle arcs, carrying memory and devotion across the desert plain. In another place, near a small oasis, idols sit in circles under date palms. Water trickles softly, reflecting moonlight in ripples that dance over smooth stone. The priests and keepers move softly among them, hands lifting incense and petals, arranging offerings with care. The desert night holds them gently, protecting these moments of stillness and reflection. Every flame, every ripple, every shadow seems to fold into calm rhythm, teaching patience and reverence. Even when change came in louder forms, caravans, new tribes, or the call to a single god, the desert taught quiet endurance. The idols were not lost. They became memory, presence, and history, woven into the sands and the hearts of those who remembered. Soft winds moved over stone and wood alike, carrying blessing and calm across open space. The desert itself became a teacher, showing that devotion endures in gentle, patient ways, even amid shifting times. A child walks slowly among the idols, hands brushing lightly over smooth carvings. They feel a quiet connection, the presence of generations folded into each figure. A single star reflects in the polished surface of a stone face, shimmering like a tear of remembrance. The desert hums beneath their feet, holding all that has been and all that will be. Even in silence, devotion flows, as steady as the rise and fall of the dunes. Now imagine standing on a high dune, looking across the desert plain. The idols stretch into the distance, their presence calm and enduring. Moonlight glides across sand, shaping shadows that dance slowly, as if breathing with the earth itself. The winds carry faint echoes of past prayers, whispers of hands lifted, hearts bowed, and spirits connected across centuries. The desert holds it all, gentle and patient, a soft cradle for memory and devotion. Let your breath match the rhythm of the desert night. In and out, like the flicker of flame in a small shrine, like the soft ripple of water at an oasis, like the shifting wind across open sand. All is calm, all is held, all is remembered. Rest now. Let the quiet strength of the desert wrap around you, gentle as moonlight on sand. Let the patient guardians of stone and wood guide your dreams. Let the night carry your spirit in slow, enduring rhythm, safe and steady. All is serene. All is gentle. All is remembered. Let us drift onward. The stars shine softly. The idols stand quietly. And the desert, wide and infinite, holds the world in calm, eternal presence tonight. The sun hangs low over distant hills, painting the sky in soft shades of rose and amber. Shadows stretch across broken columns and fallen stones, folding into quiet corners of abandoned courtyards. A gentle wind moves through the ruins, lifting the scent of earth, old incense and faint memories carried in stone. All is still, yet the air vibrates softly with echoes, as if the walls themselves remember the voices of those who once knelt here. Night approaches, and stars begin to blink open, delicate and patient, over silent temples that once sang with devotion. You float slowly along pathways where smooth stones have tumbled into quiet piles, where carvings worn by time still catch the light of dusk. The altars are empty now, yet a soft presence lingers in their spaces. It is as if every whispered prayer, every soft footstep, every flicker of candlelight remains folded into the very air. The temples themselves breathe slowly, waiting, remembering, cradling the devotion that will not fade. In some courtyards, statues have fallen or been broken, their shapes softened by centuries of wind and rain. Hands that once lifted offerings are gone, yet the stone still holds intention and the memory of care. The gods of old stand quietly in fragments, their forms imperfect but their presence enduring. Even the smallest piece, a head bowed in silent reverence or a hand stretched in blessing, carries the weight of devotion across time. Imagine a traveler stepping lightly among these ruins, their eyes tracing the soft curves of carved stone. The moon rises, bathing the temples in silver, turning cracks into gentle rivers of light. A single flame flickers in the corner of a courtyard, casting long, slow shadows that dance like memories of old rituals. The wind lifts tiny grains of dust, weaving them into ribbons that float above broken altars, carrying them as whispers into the night sky. Once these temples were filled with the hum of life, the soft chanting of priests, the rhythmic tap of drums, the scent of burning incense swirling upward. Now silence reigns, yet it is not empty. It is a silence rich with remembrance, a quiet space where the past continues to touch the present. Every column, every fallen stone, every scarred surface speaks gently, telling of hands lifted, hearts bowed, and prayers offered in soft devotion. In some hidden corners, small communities still honor what remains, placing flowers or candles upon the stone. The rituals are quieter, slower, more intimate. The gods are not forgotten. They live in these subtle acts of remembrance. Each gesture, each gentle breath, carries devotion forward, as steady as the tides, as constant as the stars above. Across the wide world, new faiths rise and kingdoms change, yet the hum of old prayers travels with the wind. In ruined temples and hidden shrines, the essence of belief persists. It flows like water, finding its way into hearts, through memory and story, through the quiet devotion of those who pause to remember. Even broken statues teach patience. Even empty altars hold space for reflection. Even scattered stones can carry the weight of sacred presence. Now wander through a temple courtyard where vines creep over fallen pillars, soft green against pale stone. The air is cool and still, carrying faint echoes of once lively chants. A small bird alights upon a broken altar, its wings brushing softly against stone. It is as if the smallest life can honor what was, and remind us that all sacred things endure in forms unseen. Each flutter, each rustle of leaves, each ripple of light across stone is a meditation, gentle and unhurried. The desert, the river, the city, each held temples and sacred spaces. And now, even in twilight, these ancient places are cradles of quiet reflection. You float past a high doorway, half collapsed, and notice the carvings still etched deep into stone. A sun god, a river deity, a protector of life, all seem to watch softly from their silent homes. Even as history moves on, even as empires fall and rise, the devotion remains. It moves like breath, like a slow river, unseen but always present. Let your own breath follow the rhythm of these quiet places. In and out, like the gentle rise and fall of a stone temple wall, like the whisper of wind across a courtyard, like the soft flicker of a lamp in a ruined hall. All is calm, all is held, all is remembered. A traveler rests by a broken altar, head bowed, palms touching smooth stone. In this quiet, the line between past and present softens. You sense the prayers of centuries flowing gently around you, weaving a soft current of calm that carries both history and hope. The night embraces every broken column, every fallen stone, every quiet heart-seeking connection. Faith, even when unseen, hums gently, a steady rhythm beneath the vast sky. As darkness settles fully, the stars shine more clearly, scattered like tiny points of devotion across the heavens. The moon traces the outlines of temples, casting silver shadows that seem to bow and sway with the wind. Everything breathes together, the ruins, the wind, the stones, the stars, and the quiet presence of hearts both past and present. All that was sacred lingers, gentle and enduring, offering calm to those who pause to notice. Let us drift onward. Feel the ancient stones beneath your thoughts, the soft flow of memory, the calm of devotion that never dies. The temples may be silent, the idols weathered, the halls empty. Yet in their ruins, in the soft whispers of wind and the gentle glow of moonlight, we hear the hum of prayers. It moves through time, unbroken, as steady as the night, as infinite as the stars above. Now rest as the stars return. The temples breathe slowly. The ruins fold into quiet. and the sacred hum of faith holds the world in calm, eternal presence tonight.